Welcome back, everyone. To all the Polymer Bazaar subscribers tuning in right now, we want to kick things off by wishing you a very happy Independence Day. Today, we're diving into an executive explainer of the Polymer Bazaar PVC Weekly Report and Future Trend for the third week of August 2026. We've got a ton of crucial market movements to unpack, so let's jump right in. Now, everything we'll be looking at today is powered by Polymer Bazaar, your premium go-to source for price, prediction, and profit. Look, if you're a polymer industry professional, you already know how unbelievably fast these markets shift, right? So the data we're about to show you is designed specifically to give you a definitive, data-driven edge for your procurement strategies. Okay, let's quickly run through our four-part agenda for today. First, we'll cover the global PVC market slump. Second, instant AI market intelligence. Third, the Indian market dynamics shift. And finally, we'll wrap up with a strategic purchase recommendation. All right, part one. The global PVC market slump, a macro view. Let's start over in the U.S. Bazaar. We're looking at a very clear drop here, with FAS Houston prices falling to $680 per metric ton. You might be wondering, why the drop? Well, it's pretty simple. Buyers are firmly remaining on the sidelines right now. They're actively resisting current prices, and that's resulting in a distinct lack of movement. Moving across the Atlantic to the Europe Bazaar, the story's pretty similar. It's trending downward, but there's a really interesting twist. FDNWE prices fell to €890 per metric ton. Now, here's what's fascinating about this. The ethylene contract price actually went up, but despite that upstream pressure, PVC demand was just so incredibly dull and supply remained so ample that prices were weighed down anyway. Over in the Turkey Bazaar, we're seeing CFR prices sitting at $890 per metric ton, so the sluggishness continues. The market here is basically being dragged down because there are plenty of cheap import offers floating around, which is keeping demand incredibly quiet. And to complete our global tour, let's look at the China Bazaar. Spot prices were recorded at 4,900 RMB per metric ton. Demand here has just stayed poor. Buyers are negotiating heavily, they're buying strictly on a need-to-have basis, and they are overwhelmingly preferring cheaper materials. And this brilliantly illustrates the wider macro trend. Whether you're looking at the US, Europe, Turkey, or China, global demand is universally stalled. Buyers across the board are holding out, negotiating hard, or honestly just sitting on their hands. It's a universally sluggish picture across all the major Western and Eastern hubs. Moving on to part two. Instant AI market intelligence. So, with global markets shifting as rapidly as we just saw, how on earth do you stay ahead of the curve without spending hours digging through spreadsheets? Well, Polymer Bazaar has actually built a highly efficient corporate tool for exactly this. You can get weekly PVC reports, future trends, and predictions sent straight to your phone. It's literally as simple as opening WhatsApp, messaging the word PVC to +91 93746 24365, and boom, you get instant updates from their AI-powered chatbot in just 5 seconds. It's a fantastic way to keep your finger right on the pulse of the market. All right, part three, Indian market dynamics shift. Now, pivoting sharply from that global slump, let's look at the latest import offers into India. This is where things get really interesting because right now the narrative completely flips. The newest PVC offers from Formosa Plastics for September 2026 shipment stand at $880 per metric ton CIF Nava Shiva. And just for clarity, this applies specifically to the S65D, S65, S60, and S70 grades. But the absolute crucial domestic move comes from Reliance Industries Limited. RIL has officially increased PVC grade prices by 1 rupee per kilo, which is a rate revision that actually went into effect on August 13th, 2026. So, the crucial point here is how drastically this differs from the rest of the world. While the global market is flatlining, in the Indian Bazaar's buying pulse, we're seeing a massive surge. Higher import offers have actually pushed converters straight to the bazaars because it signaled that higher ex-works prices were on the horizon. Because of this, combined with actual shortages of imported grades, domestic demand in India has noticeably strengthened. Which brings us to part four, strategic purchase recommendation. We've seen the global slump, we've seen the contrasting demand surge in India, and we've seen the rising import quotes. So what's the definitive takeaway for you as a procurement executive? Well, straight from the Polymer Bazaar analysts, here is the bottom line. We recommend buying at the current prices. And the logic here is crystal clear. Due to the increased quotes of overseas offers, local producers are very likely to lift their ex-works prices in response. The window to secure materials at the current rate is closing fast, so the strategy for sure is to act right now. If you want to dig deeper into the numbers, you can absolutely access the full PDF report at polymerbazaar.com/futuretrend/PVC. Also, if you're looking for specific buying and selling leads for PVC, reach out directly to the relationship manager at +91 95108 24365. Oh, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to the Polymer Bazaar YouTube channel, like and share this explainer with your industry colleagues so you never miss an update on commodity and engineering polymers. We wish you a fantastic weekend ahead of the next trading session starting this coming Monday. But before we go, we want to leave you with this to chew on over the weekend. Given the tight supply of imports and those rising overseas quotes we just talked about, will those overseas import offers continue to aggressively drive local ex-works prices up next week? It's a huge question, and we'll be watching the data closely to find out. Thanks so much for joining this explainer, and we'll see you next time.